Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk and thank you very much for joining me today. This is the card I'm going to be making today, and if you stay with me I will show you how I did it. These are the things that I'm going to be using to make my card today. I've cut myself a card base of soft suede, and it's 4 inches by 11.5, and I folded it halfway at 5 3/4. And I've got a piece of this paper, which is from the This Christmas Speciality DSP stack, and I'm going to be using the side with the music on. And I've actually cut this a bit oversized, but when I've trimmed it down it will be 3 3/4 by 5.5. I've got a piece of Very Vanilla which is going to go on the inside of my card, and that is 3 3/4 by 5.5. And I've cut two 2-inch squares of soft suede. I'm going to be stamping using this set, which is Dragonfly Dreams, and it's one of the ones that's in the new Spring and Summer catalogue. I'm going to be using Mint Macaron, Tempting Turquoise, Soft Suede, and Basic Black inks. And I'm also going to be using some white acrylic paint and some Sahara Sand re-inker. In my palette I've got some white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to add just a couple of drops. In fact, I'm just going to start with one because I haven't got that much paint there, of the Sahara Sand re-inker. I'm just going to mix that up, and you could use something like a buff titanium, just to take that white off, and put one more drop. And again, do this gradually because you can always add it, but you can't take it away. What that is. And I've got not much paint on my brush. And I'm going to start in the middle and spread it out. The paint's dried overnight, and I've set up my paper into my Misty. And the reason I'm using my Misty is because I've monkeyed around with this surface and I'm not 100% sure how well it's going to take the ink. So I am playing safe on this one and making sure that I can have a couple of goes at it if it goes wrong. I've made sure that my paper is the right way up, because if you read music you will know if it's upside down, and if you don't read music, the way you can tell is these little things here which are called rests. Alright, the little blobs on them are at the top, and it looks like a 7, not a backward 7. Okay, so if you're not sure which way up it is, look for these little rests and use those to orient yourself, because trust me, if you read music you will be able to tell the difference. Okay, so I've placed my dragonfly where I want it on my paper, and I'm going to stick that down to the top of my Misty. And I'm going to ink up the dragonfly, and I'm using a rubbing motion on my stamp. I do love dragonflies, although the first one I saw, which was when I was a child of about, I suppose about 8 or 9, it scared the life out of me, because it was just there. They just dart and they just appear so quickly, and one minute it wasn't there and the next minute it was, and it was just sort of hovering there, and I screamed like a little girl and I ran. Okay, so that's stay there paper, stay there. Yeah, you see, that's why I wanted to go with the Misty. Okay, so we'll ink that up again. hope that my paper hasn't moved too much, that I put it back where it belonged, and we'll try again. So I want a really good black impression here. And sorry about the table bouncing, but as you know, or maybe you don't know, I work on a picnic table and it's quite flexible, so it does make stamping something of an adventure. Okay, alright, now it's not perfect, it's still a bit faded and you know, faint looking in the center here, but you know what, I'm going to leave it at that because I think that will do for what I want. Off camera, I've stamped Sentiment to a Wonderful Friend, and now I want to add some colour to the wings. So I've got my stamp already mounted up on my clear block, and I'm going to start with a bit of mint macaron, and I'm also going to add a little bit of Tempting Turquoise just here and there. Now, I just want to say that this particular stamp deliberately stamps with more density of colour in some places than others. It's, you know, it's not a faulty one, it's deliberate, it's meant to give you that watercolour-y look. Okay, so because it's clear, I can see through it, I can see where I want it to go, and I'm just going to pop that down. Just like that. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the ink to transfer. And there it is. Now I haven't registered that terribly well, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to ink it up. And I'm going to go back again. Because this is meant to look watercoloured and imperfect. Okay, and I don't know what's happening in that bit there, but it's not doing it for me, it's misbehaving, so not to worry, we can fix it. I have my water brush here. I'll just get some water going. Whoops, that was too much. Okay, so when that happens, just go with it. Alright, I don't want to overdo it. Bit of tissue here to blot it. Oops. I've taken it away now. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, let's put that down. And I'm hoping that the paper is still wet enough so that that will spread itself out. And you know what? I'm going to quit while I'm ahead on that one. I'm going to leave that there. I've mounted up the body part, and again with the Tempting Turquoise, and I'm just going to try and line that up and dot that down. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go. So I'm going to leave that on one side to dry. The ink's dry, and now I'm going to scruff up the edges a bit with a distressing tool. Now, if you haven't got one of these, you can very carefully use the blades of your scissors. Okay. And again, this is something Stampin' Up we used to carry our version of this, which actually I never got round to getting, but I think was actually better because it had a better grip on it. I think this thing is quite a handy dandy little gadget. So I'm just scruffing up my edges. Not too worried about the corners because I'll be covering those in a moment. Just making sure that I've given it a nice chewed look, which it has. So coming in with soft suede ink and my sponge, and I'm just going to go along those edges just to dirty them up a bit, just to make them look good and grungy. And we're also going to go into that white paint a bit as well to make that, tone that down a little bit. But, I'm not spraying anything. I'm not getting anything wet, not after last time, because it all went a bit Pete-tong. Right. That's nice and grungy, and now that's nearly ready to go onto the front of the card. I've got my little 2-inch square of soft suede, and I'm just going to score 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay, and I've already done that one. And I'm going to take my snips and cut off the corners like so. And now I'm going to cut from corner to corner. And fold those over. Those will sit on the corner of my dragonflies just like that. So I'm going to go and do the same to this one. Stuck the corners down with just a little spot of wet glue, and now I'm going to put some tape along the back of the corners, which will help to hold them into place. So, sorry. I want some tape along the sides here as well. But I'm not running it right up to the edge because I want that edge to lift a little bit. I want this to look like it's got some history. Line that up pretty much where I want it. I'm not putting any pressure on anything just yet until I'm reasonably happy, which I am now. And now I can take away the rest of the backing. And all I need to do now is to put my piece of Very Vanilla on the inside. And if I wanted to, I could stamp on this, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Fast Fuse, top and bottom, and a tiny spot down the side, and a As always, the trick with fast fuse is a light touch and a flick. Put that in something. So, I may need to stamp on something on that just to cover up that boo-boo. I wasn't going to do this, but I seem to have put that bit of Very Vanilla card down in something, and it's got a bit stained, and I'm going to need to cover it up. So I have this stamp again from the same set, and I'm using the soft suede ink, and I'm just going to stamp into that corner, just like that, and then I do the same at the other corner. Go. And nobody will ever know that that wasn't meant to happen. And there it is, my finished card. And we did have a couple of changes of design direction along the route, but you know what, I think it came out okay in the end. And I think actually that is a nice sort of unisex card. It would be a lovely card to send to a lady, but on the other hand, it's not too girly and feminine, and you could quite easily send it to a gentleman. So that is it for today. Thank you very, very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to comment, like, share and to subscribe. And if you want to show me what you've been up to, I would really, really like to see your pictures. You can leave them on my Facebook page. The details are below. There's also a link to my Stampin' Up store and to my blog. But for now, once again, thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I'm going to see you again soon. Bye-bye.